My wife became a surrogate for her sister without telling me, and that single decision ended our 18-year
The
marriage and
bathroom
broke our
mirror at the
family
courthouse
apart.
stared back at me, showing a man I didn't recognize. My jaw was clamped shut, my eyes were heavy with fatigue, and a cold weight sat in my chest. This was it. The day my 18-year marriage would officially be over, it wasn't ending quietly or gently. It was ending because of a choice that shattered every single thing we had built together. My lawyer's voice came through the door. "They're ready for us." I straightened my tie, grabbed the briefcase with our divorce papers, and walked out with a calm I didn't feel. Just last night, my wife Ellen had called me in tears, begging to know if we could save what we once had. But the truth was simple. She had ended our marriage long before any lawyers got involved. I was just the one making it official. Inside the courtroom, she sat pale and exhausted, her eyes red from crying. There was a time when seeing her like that would have made my heart soften. Now, all I felt was a vast, cold distance. Some wounds, I was learning, just cut too deep to ever truly close. But it wasn't always like this. I met Ellen on a warm July afternoon at a neighborhood barbecue. Sunlight, laughter, the smell of grilled corn in the air. A stray frisbee sent a plate of dessert flying onto her dress, and I rushed over to help. Instead of getting upset, she just laughed. And in that moment, I knew she was special. 6 months later, I proposed. We had a spring wedding in her parents' backyard, a beautiful home, stable careers, and eventually 3 incredible children, our son Ben and our twin daughters Emma and Sophie. For nearly 2 decades, I truly believed we had a solid, loving life. Until one day, it all just quietly fell apart. It started with small things. Secretive text messages, late nights on her laptop, sudden, hushed visits with her twin sister, Melissa. Whenever I walked into a room, the conversation would just stop. She'd brush off my concerns, telling me I was just imagining things. But then I found it, a brochure for a fertility center tucked away in her desk. We had agreed years ago that our family was complete. Seeing that pamphlet made something inside me twist into a knot. When I finally confronted her, Ellen told me the truth. Her sister, Melissa, couldn't have children, so Ellen had volunteered to be her surrogate. She didn't ask me. She didn't even discuss it with me. She planned the entire thing behind my back. The embryo transfer was already scheduled. When I asked how she could make a decision that would change our entire lives without me, she said she was afraid I'd react badly, but this wasn't about a haircut or a new hobby. This was her body, our marriage, our family. And she had chosen her sister over our partnership. I told her if she went through with it, I would file for divorce. 2 weeks later, she went ahead with the procedure. That same day, I moved out. Telling the kids was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Ben, our oldest, saw right through my excuses. The twins were just confused, asking why their mom was suddenly having a baby that wouldn't be their brother or sister. Ellen tried to reach out to fix things, but trust that's been broken that deeply doesn't just reappear. Months passed, and her pregnancy became more and more difficult. The stress and emotional strain were taking a toll on her. The more I saw, the more I realized she had no idea what this would really mean for her health or our family. Then she was hospitalized with a dangerous condition and needed emergency surgery. Despite everything, when she called me, scared and alone, asking if I could come, I didn't hesitate. I still cared not as a husband, but I cared enough to show up. The baby, a tiny but healthy boy named James, was delivered early. When I arrived, Ellen hadn't even held him yet. She looked up at me, gratitude and regret etched into her tired face. For a brief moment, it felt like we were just 2 parents navigating a crisis together, but reality hit fast. We were already broken in ways that couldn't be undone. A month later, a judge finalized our divorce. 18 years, over in 15 minutes. Outside the courtroom, Ellen approached me, her eyes full of tears. She asked if maybe someday we could be friends for the kids. I told her we could be respectful, we could be civil, but friends? Not yet. Maybe not ever. She just nodded, accepting the reality she had created. 6 months after that, I got a panicked call from my daughter Sophie. "Dad, Mom's really sick. Please come." I found Ellen burning with fever while her sister Melissa and her husband argued in the kitchen, completely overwhelmed. I took charge. I got her to the hospital and stayed until she was stable. I took care of the kids while she recovered. Even though we weren't married anymore, I couldn't just walk away from the mother of my children. During her hospital stay, Ellen apologized again, but this time it felt different. It wasn't out of desperation, it was genuine. She admitted she'd made choices without thinking about the impact on us. She admitted her desire to be a hero for her sister had clouded her judgment. Then she told me that Melissa had asked her to be a surrogate again, and she had refused. "We lost too much already," she told me quietly. "I won't risk losing our children too." Once Ellen recovered, we both started to heal separately. At the twins' school play, we sat together for the first time without that heavy tension between us. When Sophie started her solo, Ellen grabbed my hand out of habit. I gently let it go when the lights came up.